side of Real Madrid Football Club. And some come away, Akoso Ache Ediama Real Madrid because of after Toni Kroos, that kind of player and free Real Madrid Football Club in a retirement moment, it has become a very difficult moment for Madrid in the midfield to get a particular midfielder who beat me Abba in the shape of Toni Kroos. And it's a Madrid airboard this season now. You can clearly imagine Madrid is not actually doing very well in terms of the midfield players or more, the likes of Camavinga, Zubimendi, even Federico Valverde at a certain point will come and then play as a right full back for Madrid Football Club. Even for the point he beat him for money to become as an inverted midfielder for Madrid in the midfield. It tells you Madrid in terms of midfield they are not doing very well. Dennis Ceballos will come from the bench and make sure we stabilize a lot of things for Madrid Football Club. So Madrid will need a controller. Madrid will need a good passer of the ball. Madrid will need a good director of the ball in terms of midfield. Which might blend it, that kind of quarterback. Come on, first the progression, the transition, the Madrid in the shape of Toni Kroos, IQ no the Madrid but Madrid for 2 many who say Papi that board yourself as a Martin Zubimendi, that kind of player would be that kind of manner. Or be to me affecting in the shoes very well for Toni Kroos free Madrid Football Club according to their retirement. This particular player will be that particular player. Will be to me affecting in the shoes for Madrid Football Club very well. But so we check the stats of Martin Zubimendi playing for Real Sociedad. It tells you he is that kind of player. He can easily do that particular job because of last season na Mikel Martin Zubimendi in order to confirm Mikel Merino. Martin Zubimendi was the first option for Mikel Arteta as now in the midfield because he wanted to make sure had going the side of Thomas Partey from going from Arsenal Football Club to Saudi Arabia. But when he got Mikel Merino, Thomas Partey from also back. Now, Open Thomas Partey and also Open Martin Zubimendi, he wanted to go in for another midfielder, Arsenal Football Club, even for a slot for Liverpool. Went in for Martin Zubimendi, but he said no to Liverpool Football Club, not knowing Madrid normally are Brighton 18 under G some community the side of Martin Zubimendi. But this is the particular player to me, he can easily do that particular job for Real Madrid Football Club, fitting in the shoes for Toni Kroos or Real Madrid Football Club. So we'll share into the heat map of Martin Zubimendi this season for Real Sociedad. It can easily tell you when he is playing for Real Sociedad, Augusto, that particular tactical coach in the formation for the side of Real Sociedad, he actually do that particular perfection in the midfield very well. You will check the heat map. It is clearly telling you, Papa reference Martin Zubimendi is not only about the midfield, and I say it's not only about the midfield deep line playmaking act, and a bit dependent at the other side of Real Sociedad, but then he makes sure he also depend in the right midfield for Real Sociedad, and also he also depend in the right wing position for Real Sociedad or attacking front wall. He plays so very well with Asin Zakayan in Finfio. When he does that particular thing, or Zakayan equaling him as a traditional number 8 box-to-box midfielder, and Ono will identify that kind of possession-based system of Ogaso, the tactical formation that team your ball at the other side of Real Sociedad. So this is the current heat map, or cover most of the distance in that particular midfield, and I say in that particular field of Real Sociedad. When you are playing against any other team, he makes sure that he is that particular player best stepping up, with him making a lot of occasion for the side of Real Sociedad Football Club. But then goes per 90 minutes in this particular season, and I said for the various seasons Real Sociedad, he's not that kind of midfielder, but more that kind of goes. But then when it comes to passing, in terms of passing accuracy, in terms of interceptions, in terms of the kind of ball returns or by the amount in the midfield that you can get Martin Zubimendi over there. But then in 2018-2019, when he made his first debut for Real Sociedad in that particular season, he recorded 0.08% in terms of goals per 90 minutes in that particular season. 2019-2020, he recorded 0.06. So it tells you from 2018-2019, the goal ratio so at the pay kakra, but 2019-2020 or off in the particular injury when Timiambu most of the games in that particular, the same thing applied 2020-2021 season, and also now the form ensured that that particular form in 2021-2022 season that he made a big rise in that particular goal per 90 ratio. closing in from 0.08 to 0.07. So it's back up here. But then talk about last 2 seasons, 2022-2023, it dropped it by 0.03. But then last season, that was the season who Martin Zubimendi, when they were playing in most of the competition, being it Spanish La Liga, being it UEFA Champions League, being it Copa del Rey, he made sure so making a lot of goals for the side of Real Sociedad, making closer. Last season, he will actually accumulate close to about 0.14% in terms of goal per 90 minutes in this particular season. Although said when you're injury kakra for the side of Real Sociedad, but I can boldly tell you said this season for the side of Real Sociedad, he has been able to make close to about 0.08% in terms of goal per 90 minutes ratio for Real Sociedad. Now, check it, the kind of tactical formation he plays the total dominance football, or that kind of coach now believe in say you're dominating possession, you're making a lot of passes from the midfield into the attacking third and also into the mid third of the opponent half. And what check it assist, passing and chance creation starts for the side of Martin Zubimendi. It tells you say he is that particular manner. Say Carlo Ancelotti showing the progression as in the midfield. That's what ultimately about total dominance football meeting against any other football club in terms of tactical midfielder. This is a particular player and the IQ on the ball is very high. Now, what checking the assist for this particular, although so not just one assist, but an expected assist per 90 minutes in a game is actually running close to about 3.25% for Martin Zubimendi this particular season. The passes away to my Real Sociedad this season is close to about 1,345 passes. But then, so 1,345 passes your passes need to be successful. Successful in the moment, so long weight passes, short display passes, breaking in the lines for into the attacking third. It should be successful. It should be able to locate the deserved player now who transition that pass from the mid third, they are called attacking third now. And the successful passes for Real Sociedad this season has been close to about 1,128, making sure that almost 1,345. The successful passes has been 1,128 for the side of Real Sociedad. It tells you say he is that kind of player or a good passer of the ball. Passes completion rate for the side of Real Sociedad this season has been 83.87% for Real Sociedad. So it tells you say this particular man is that kind of manner. He can easily fit in the shoes for Toni Kroos for Real Madrid in that particular midfield. The key passes, when we talk about key passes, we are talking about breaking line passes and other influent passes. It can easily lead to goal creation. It's Obibama assist, but then baby a pass be generating that particular main player a key passer in terms of goal contribution in that particular goal involvement in that particular game. You will get that player no bit amount. The key passes for Real Sociedad that season has been 14 key passes for the side of Martin Zubimendi this season. It tells you say he is that particular man for the job. Also a transition in the 4-2-4 system, sometimes a team transition in the 4-1-4-1 tactical flexibility. Makacho said at the time of Real Sociedad in last 2 seasons he was playing that midfield duo with Mikel Merino for Real Sociedad. With me, Mikel Merino free honor right now he's playing with Asen Zakayan in that particular midfield. So check here, he is actually in the midfield partner with Asen Zakayan this season for Real Sociedad, and Real Sociedad will transition the ball from the 4-2-4 tactical variation system, but then some more ball add their to attacking that they create a lot of numerical superiority because a total dominance possession based football team. So you will get Papa Evans Martin Zubimendi, who is a selfless player who always wants his player and who always wants his partners to free up. So a bit more key passes into the attacking to bit share a lot of goals. So checking Martin Zubimendi, he is that particular deep line playmaking actor. He makes us free that box to box midfield row pattern on the in the shape of Asen Zakayan for him to be in that particular creative role. Real Sociedad but so open the technical aspect of a player that is quite of also a return ball from that particular opening. That is when 2 or more opposition players are closing in the gap. Point bells will be are beating these particular 2 players. Are you almost from that particular creative space? Ediama did that particular player for himself. Just as Papa, if I say Martin Zubimendi, and in that particular opening match, you could easily see for you to get Real Sociedad out from the game, you need to control their engine in that particular midfield. And the engine for Real Sociedad for Raul Ogasol is Martin Zubimendi. And this particular tactical, but you can easily see the opponents, the 2 players are pressing just for him to lose that particular ball. But then he wants to create a lot of space, a bit more available. Not that particular Asen Zakayan in that tight corner shape, acute angle shape in that particular midfield for the side of Real Sociedad. And then he was able to successful creating that IQ nature, his tens, his over tens in that particular midfield. It tells you, say, Martin Zubimendi is that kind of midfield. Wow, I'm a lot of things at the man. But quite often, depicting spaces in the attacking third is very well. It's not only about making a lot of things in the quarterback and I say in the defensive structure of Real Sociedad, but as well anymore, he also makes a lot of offensive availability of spaces. Oh, between that to the attacking third. So we'll check this particular arena with that now. Where Hassan Zakayan trying to locate Papa, your friend said, Martin Zubimendi, for him to actually create a lot of chance of betting back to the attacking third. So he needs to make sure the three cover players from the opponent box, he will make sure to be available for space. Hassan Zakayan will give him that particular ball for him to make close key pass into the attacking third. Now, somebody will call that particular, next picture. Now, you could easily see, after Hassan Zakayan, outweighted 3-man players from that particular attacking third. Papa and Martin Zubimendi needed to locate the attacker, who created that key pass, breaking in the line into the attacking box of the zone 14 of the opponent for him to create that chance for him to score. It tells you, say, the IQ, so all I create a lot of offensive wellness. It is actually superb for Martin Zubimendi this season. And this time around, he needs to create a lot of acute angle passes to the attacking third. This is Martin Zubimendi creating a lot of chance or they to the attacking. So it tells you, say, Martin Zubimendi, but this season for him, he is doing very well for Real Sociedad. But this is the passing accuracy. Passes completed this season for the side of Martin Zubimendi. Passes completed, it's close to about 45.67%. And on the Real Sociedad season, the passes attempted is 53.10% for himself. But in passing completion, in the other stats, in the catch, it is 83.45%. But the passes completion this season only for Real Sociedad is 86.0%, and the total distance passing is 770%, and that's 770 passes. And why the other side of Real Sociedad this season for himself in the Spanish La Liga. But we remember the Spanish La Liga this weekend now. Big match, big match. Real Madrid Football Club will play against Leganes, and for the last 5 games for Leganes, they've been able to get close to about just a draw, a win, and a 3 defeat for themselves. And Real Madrid has gotten just close about 4 wins and just a defeat for themselves. The last time Madrid, breaking winning streak, it was a side of Leganes, Real Madrid Football Club breaking that particular winning streak this season for Carlo Ancelotti, and they need to win this particular game against Leganes because so checking the league log currently as we speak. Barcelona was 63 points. Real Madrid was 60 points, Atletico Madrid was 56, and Club Enzo was 52 points. It tells you, say, Madrid will need to win this particular game to advance their chances of closing in the gap points of the Barcelona team. And Atletico against Espanyol, and they will need to also win that game to close in the gap space between Real Madrid Football Club or league log. But as a middle room in the first statistical 11, a bit Real Madrid, it should tell you, say, that basic formation for Papa Efense Caleta. He will use the 4-2-3-1 diamond shape for him against the side of Leganes. Leganes bought the 5-3-2 low block compactable system. Now when you say Carlo Ancelotti total dominance, and then sometimes he being a strategic coach plays the 2 pivotal midfielders. Zubimendi and Federico Valverde, trust me, will be that particular midfield will be to major in FIFA for them at Real Madrid Football Club. But into the defensive structure, you get Fran Garcia in the left full-back position, Raul Asensio as a left centre-back, and then Antonio Rudiger in the right centre-back for Real Madrid, and then Lucas Vazquez as a right full-back. This season, the weakest point for Real Madrid Football Club has been on the right-wing attack. And sometimes, so Lucas Vazquez a lot of offensive approach, the defensive cover rate, so all make it close to about 40% offensive rate. The defensive rate is close to about 15%. And the number of times that Real Madrid Football Club lose a lot of balls in the right wing forward has been close to about 15 times this season. After say Dani Cabaya any ACL injury, it tells you, say, the weakest point for Real Madrid Football Club this season in that particular almost starting lineup has been that particular right fullback, and I said the right wing position for Madrid this season. So if Leganes can easily track for Madrid, they should make sure to make Madrid create a lot of overload. And they are two on the left hand side, and the other side of Leganes, and also make to the left hand side, and they are posing, and also they pinning Rodrigo de Guez and even Lucas Vazquez into the right midfield for the side of Real Madrid Football Club, but then into the attacking third. Vinicius Junior, Jude Bellingham, Rodrigo de Guez, and Kylian Mbappe able to lead the attacking line for Real Madrid Football Club this particular match. I'm predicting so Madrid can easily win, and it will be over 1.5 for Real Madrid Football Club. Then you go to the next game. Atletico Madrid against Espanyol.
So how much?
Crucial match, acting rough.
Barcelona and
Real Madrid. Because you get Espanyol from Barcelona.
Nah, Atletico Madrid. Real Madrid Barcelona.
I mean, we sound good for the job.
Fine.
Atletico for the job. Yes.
We have been doing and we are Madrid.
Yes.
And you have Barcelona, Real Madrid Junior.
Yeah. But I won't say the relationship existed between Espanyol and Madrid in terms of
now, who did you say? They do baby no. Now Barcelona now for Pani Atletico Madrid. Now, Omuto player be Atletico Madrid. That Real Madrid shall go to
Espanyol.
Espanyol is Real Madrid for a tight. Yeah. Big Madrid for more.
Lucas Vazquez, yeah.
Marco Asensio, Kiko Cassia.
Yeah, and so called.
And I Madrid for it to be top player before
Espanyol.
Yeah, young player be very good. Or would you do so playing time on mana?
No, yeah.
That was when I saw Atletico Madrid for a fine part.
Yes. BBI
competition now we are but we fine part.
So offer the BBI. Offer the BBI.
Yeah.
No offer Antoine Griezmann.
Yeah.
No former midfielder we Nancy free other two run. No find the Neko Barca. They tell you some relationship they come but on the game, you know, it will be a close game between Atletico and then Espanyol because the last 4 games and the last 5 games in the Spanish La Liga for Atletico, no, 4 defeats, just a win for Atletico. It has not been very well for Atletico. And then Espanyol with just 2 defeats, 2 draws, and just a win for Espanyol. It tells you that they can easily do something magic, only creating magic at the side of Espanyol. But then Ocheke, that side, I mean, Papa friend said Diego Simeone, but also this time around, the Cholismo system, it is actually assuming that the players, you know, after so much I say in the last 15 games, so much me a process very well. As a mean and blending the Cholismo system and a low compactable game like Kakra. So this time around, he's not going to play the Cholismo system again, but then he's going to play the total dominance football because he has that players that they can easily pass the ball and they can easily go into the attacking system and create a lot of chance. And Unyo Pablo Barrios and Rodrigo Di Paula, not too waste about that. These 2 midfielders are static midfielders, but then the main metronomy in that particular midfield for Atletico Madrid is Pablo Barrios. He always free up Rodrigo Di Paul to always go as a box-to-box midfielder, no one orchestrating in the passing ranges for the side of Atletico in the midfield. But when it becomes very difficult, you get someone, you know, coming in as a right winger to become a creative, a bit more drop deep. Have a support to Pablo Barrios in that particular midfield. So when Simeone, Simeone also in the right wing of that particular Atletico or midfield now, he can also drop in to become a wing back to support Molina in that particular right full back position. So it tells you say they understand each other. But then Cholismo system and the high press system of game now, Diego Simeone, Ebonance, you know, players no one just so intimate so be changing and the total dominance football, and you will get Antoine Griezmann and then Julian Alvarez. This season for the side of Atletico, they've actually scored close to about 20 goal contribution for themselves in attacking third for Atletico. It tells you say any of them can easily score against Espanyol this particular night, and Antoine Griezmann can easily score against the side of Espanyol. The big game, AC Milan Napoli.
Yeah,
they a big game. They say so. We check it currently as we speak. The league log, Italian Serie A and more. Napoli almost advanced almost points in the last 3 weeks ago. But Inter Milan, Simeone Inzaghi has been able to close in the gap. Watima extended their 3 points. Now it was 64 points. Napoli was 61 points. Atlanta 58 points. Bologna 53 and Juventus were close to about 52 points. Now who check this particular game, our boss? The Inter Milan say a close game. They say Napoli will need to win against AC Milan. If only say Antonio Conte, he can easily win the Italian Serie A. He should make sure so to be winning against AC Milan. Because to be winning against AC Milan, definitely Inter Milan is also playing this particular night. And the moment that Inter Milan beats my dropping points, Napoli can easily close in the gap for the side of Inter Milan. I'm going to drop a point. So I'm tipping. So Napoli can easily win against AC Milan because the last 3 games at AC Milan, it doesn't be well. They've considered close to about 7 goals this season. The last 5 games are the defensive error AC Milan. It is more than the defensive errors of Napoli Football Club this season. But I'm tipping. Say Papa Antonio Conte can easily play the 3-5-2 Catenaccio system for himself. You get in the midfield. Billy Gilmore will replace Zambo Anguissa, the best midfielder for Napoli this season. And the Lobot Konosubabo as a basic deep line playmaker for Napoli. And Scott McTominay possess it as a box-to-box midfielder for the side of Napoli. And Spinazzola and then Politano will be that particular wing back, so they can easily create a lot of movement for Raspadori and then Romelu Lukaku in attacking third of Napoli. And I can easily tell you, so we'll check it into the defensive structure of AC Milan. Ahan will be Malik Thiaw and Matthew Gabon as 4 and 5, and then the left fullback position will be Theo Hernandez, and the right fullback position will be Kyle Walker. It will be a close match between Kyle Walker and Spinazzola. Kyle Walker is that kind of player. So Onya Obia or speedster, that's pacer. He doesn't give that particular person a lot of chance. So he can easily close in the gap for Papa and also for AC Milan in the right full back position. But in the midfield, you get Yanus Musa and Warren Bondo in that particular midfield for the side of AC Milan. And then into attacking third, Pulisic, Tijani Reinders, and Rafael Leao and Santiago Gimenez in attacking third can create a lot of things. But I'm tipping Napoli can easily win just a goal in this particular encounter.
AC Milan midfield. You know Musa and Warren Bondo. Common number AC Milan midfield.
Oh, I said football. Oh, do this, yeah. Abi, sadly,
that's a standard and drop. Look, Yunus Musa, Warren Bondo, AC Milan midfield.
Midfield, we are maybe trying to see the money, Pelo, money,
Ricardo,
yes,
Warren Bondo.
He's a fine player.
Bondo is a fine player.
So no disrespect. But what I'm saying is,
no, but like
club, no pedigree, and then the standard.
Idea is a match. Idea is a football. Who's the first?
Yeah.
Not football, a formation. This time around is